Hey, howdy, hey, my name is Trent, and today, sorry, I couldn't help myself, Jay, but this is LaxLime here. So, you guys are probably wondering why I have a major Pokemon League or MPL channel, MPL battle up on my channel. But, the coach of the Washington ShedSkins, Jay, or SV Dragonite, is having some, I don't know, I guess real life issues, and has kindly asked me to actually co-coach with him. So, from time to time, I will be battling for him, and the battles will be going up on my channel, so it's actually really exciting. I do really enjoy these league format battles, because it's all about sort of countering and all of that, and team building, and it's really fun. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this week and coming up with strategies to take down the Jacksonville Gardevoirs, who is my opponent this week. So the Jacksonville Gardevoirs, or Greg, also known as EuphAuric on YouTube, so his link will be below, so definitely go check him out. He has a pretty tough team and has a really long roster, so he was kind of really hard to deal with, but I think I built a pretty good team to actually counter him, and I was really hungry for the victory, like really hungry for the victory. The ShedSkins roster is actually quite small, but he's got some we have some really powerful Pokemon. So I was actually really excited to play with some of them, because I've never actually played with some of these Pokemon before. So it was really fun. Like, I had a lot of time, or like a lot of fun in this battle, and I also really wanted the win, because I wanted to come in, you know, as my first battle in the MPL and show that I'm an actual threat, and I'm a pretty big threat. Now, looking at Greg's team, I'm not concerned. I really wasn't concerned. I sort of over-prepared for Mega Pinsir, because he does normally have a Mega Pinsir, and that totally scared me, because I thought I was going to get swept by it. So I actually brought Pokemon to really stop him from being able to sweep me. So I was a bit surprised about that, and you know what? We will get into the battle, because I'm just going to keep on talking, but MPL, all the information will be go down in the link below, so definitely check it out. Just quickly, the MPL is pretty much like the same as all the other leagues like that you see around, but I'm sure you guys will understand that. So yeah, let's get into the battle now. So I actually take the straight off lead and go into my Magnezone as he sends out his Cofferegus. I have seen him run a Trick Room team before, so I was sort of expecting the Trick Room coming, but this is an Analytic Choice Specs Magnezone, and did you see how much damage that does? It is crazy. That is a crazy amount of damage. I am totally free now, just to keep on Thunderbolting things. I'm really free. So he actually goes into Porygon 2 Dark, the most bulky thing ever, and look at how much damage this does. That is incredible. He's not going to stay around any longer for that, so he ends up going into his Celebi, which is Resist. I actually predicted that and switched out into my Cresselia. I was actually predicting something else, and I didn't really want to stay around with Cresselia because I sort of needed him to wall later, so I just switched back into Magnezone because I can go for the HP Fire and hurt this thing quite a lot, or I sort of knew he was going to switch out thinking that I probably did have that, or even go for the Baton Pass, but he didn't end up doing that, and I decided to go for the Flash Cannon. And this Flash Cannon, it does a decent amount to this. The Trick Room has run out, so I decided to switch here. Cresselia just completely walls this Meloetta, completely. I was totally predicting the Focus Blast, so yeah, it was a good switch. Cresselia was the man to go to. I'm able to set up the Toxic. It just puts this thing on a timer, so it's not totally going to be an issue. It does carry the Psyshock, so I've got to be really careful with my Mega Venusaur just to not be around when he does get the Psyshock off. So he does switch out. He goes back into Celebi, and you know he's going to set up, like he's going to go for the Nasty Plot, and that scares me because I don't know if this thing has Button Pass or not. He didn't use it last time, so he probably doesn't, but it's still something that I've got to be really concerned about. I've really got to be concerned about that. So I decided to switch out here. I can easily just go into Magnezone again and just start sort of firing off some attack. I believe I did just go for the Flash Cannon because the Flash Cannon sort of does the most damage to the majority of his team rather than the hidden power. He does go for the Psychic. That is a +2 Psychic, and that does nothing to Magnezone. And I can just go for the Flash Cannon, and wow, that does a lot of damage. I did not realize how much power is in Magnezone. Like, I've used him before. I normally run like a Salt Vest version, but this is just a really bulky Choice Specs one. So 2 Flash Cannons, and Celebi is down. So that's brilliant, because Celebi could have been a really big problem with all the nasty plotting. He does go into Melodic. He obviously knows that I'm choice specs, so I need to switch out here, and I can just go into Keldeo. I am running this Keldeo as a Life Orbed sub Carmine set. If I can get a sub and go for a Carmine, I can pretty much sweep his team at this point, or put a major damage. So he does switch out into his Cofregus, which is a really good play. It was an exceptional play actually, because it really stopped Keldeo from doing what it was going to do. So I go for the Carmine as he goes for the Trick Room. So that basically means that I will not be able to really pull off a sweep or anything like that, because I'm going to be stopped by the next attack. And when it breaks my sub, I'm in a little bit of trouble, so I'll have to switch out eventually. He does go for the Shadow Ball, and it didn't really matter at this point, because even if he did break my sub, I could still go for the Surf and take it out. He didn't break the sub, which was brilliant, because that means I get a kill on whatever comes in next, which is just phenomenal. So he's lost his Cofregus, which is so annoying, and he's gone out into his Porygon too. The Trick Room's still up, so he's able to go for the Discharge, and that's going to definitely break the sub. However, with the Keldeo, I can just go for the Secret or Sacred Sword, whichever the special one is, and able to take out the Porygon too. So two bulky things are out of here. You know what? He still has Magnezone in the Mandibuzz in the back, so that's a problem. He does go into his Meloetta, and unfortunately Crest just completely walls the hell out of Meloetta. Just completely walls the hell out of it. At this point, I was just like, I'm just gonna try to hit it with a what's it called, a Moonblast, because I was predicting the Mandibuzz to come in. I sort of thought that was going to do a little bit more damage, but it does a pittance amount of damage. It really does. I don't want this thing to be able to roost and stay in and really bug my team, so I've got to go for the Toxic at this point, hoping that I can just sort of dwindle it down, so when it does roost and stay in for ages, I've just put it on timer basically. And he does exactly the same thing, so yeah, because Cresselia can be annoying. I've never used a Cresselia because I know how annoying they can be, so I actually even just feel bad for using Cresselia, because Cress is just an irritating Pokemon to get rid of. So we're both receiving the Toxic damage there, and I just go for the Moonblast again. I just want to damage off. I was sort of really nervous that he was just going to keep on roosting and whatnot. He does go for the Foul Play, and that does pretty much nothing, mainly because I'm negative attack as well as 0 IVs, because I knew that this could actually really hurt me with the Foul Plays over time. So I was prepared to actually have Cresselia in on Mandibuzz. I'm going to take the switch out here and actually go into my Cloyster, because Cloyster just wrecks this thing. It really does. I knew that the switch out was coming, however, I didn't want to play... Well, I didn't really have anything else to hit the serpent thing. What's it called? The Milotic. So I just went for the Icicle Spear anyway. It does pretty much pittance amount of damage. It's pretty pathetic how much damage it does, but it's still damage. Damage on a Milotic is still damage, because these things are just so difficult to deal with. He runs a very bulky team, and it can be a problem if you're not prepared for it. The problem with these formats when you run a bulky team is people can really predict what you're going to do, and really put some damage and work in. He does go for the Scald, probably fishing for the burn on the switch out, as I can just go into my Mega Venusaur, and Mega Venusaur is annoying Pokemon as well. If you let this thing stay in for too long, it can really do some damage to your team. I did play it a little bit, I guess, risky at this point, because I was trying to work out what his fourth move was on the Mandibuzz. I was really hoping he didn't have Brave Bird. And I was sort of praying. I thought, even if he does have Brave Bird, I can probably survive one, because it looks like he's mostly invested in defenses. So he ends up just going for the Foul Plays, which pretty much tells me he does not have anything he can hit me with. He does get the critical hit, doesn't really matter, and I just go for the Sludge Bomb. It's not enough to take him out. However, it does a decent amount of damage, and then after the toxic damage, I can just go for the Giga Drain, just in case he does want to switch out on this turn, and get some health back on whatever sort of comes in. So Mandibuzz is down. I am looking really fine. I haven't even lost Pokemon yet at this stage, so I was I was in a really excited mood at this point, but I didn't want to get too overexcited just in case I completely stuffed it. The Malouetta comes in, I have to switch out, and unfortunately Cress is the man to go into, or girl, I should say girl, because it walls it. It really walls it. I started to feel really bad at this point because, like, it not that it turned into a stall game, but it did turn into a stall game. I'm not gonna lie, it really did. I was in a good position and I was trying to preserve as many Pokemon as I sort of could. So I was just going to Moonlight up and just hope that the Toxic will eventually sort of dwindle him down to a point where I can easily just take it out with a Moonblast or a Psyshock or something along those lines. So I'm sitting pretty. So he ends up switching out here and goes into his Milotic. And I just go for the second Moonlight just to dwindle him down again with the Toxic. I can easily make the switch back into Venusaur here because I am Mega Evolved, so even if he does go for an Ice Beam, it's not going to really do anything. Like an Ice Beam and a Scald is going to do pretty much the same amount of damage. At first I decided to Tox him up, which is a bit, like he might have the Malleable Scale or whatever, but I wasn't too concerned about this thing doing too much damage to my team, and at least it's on a timer so it can't keep on recovering up on me and really causing a problem. I just thought that was probably the better play because I don't want to be stuck here forever trying to deal with it, really. So Cress is taking too much damage from that Toxic, so I need to switch out, and I decided to go into my Venusaur, because Venusaur just, really puts in some work against this this Milotic. I can just easily just go for the Giga Drain and sort of take it out, or do a significant chunk of damage. As he goes for the Ice Beam, it does pretty much nothing, and then I will actually go for the Leech Seed here because I was predicting that he was going to switch out into his Malouetta, and I thought that would probably be the best play, but if I just went for the Giga Drain, I probably would have just pretty much taken it out. I'm pretty close to taking it out if I didn't take it out anyway. So I'm not going to make that play again. I'm just going to go straight for the Giga Drain just to try to take it out, as he does switch out into his Malouetta at this stage. So the Giga Drain it turns out not enough to actually take him out, and even after the toxic damage, it's quite not at that stage. So I need to switch out because I'm preserving for the 6-0 here. I really am, and I feel so bad about that, Greg, and I really do apologise. But if I was able to get a 6-0, then it really popped where the Dragonite, the Washington ShedSkins sort of sat on the ladder. So I just switch in Malouetta because it walls the hell out, not Malouetta, Cress, because it walls the hell out of it, and he ends up going down for the Toxic. From here I can easily just switch back into the Venusaur, and then it's basically just cleaning up at this stage. So he goes for the Toxic. He finally gets the burn, which he did not get really good hacks on his side at all. I felt really sorry for you, sorry Greg, I really did, and I felt horrible for going for the 6-0. I really did feel horrible. So even after the Ice Beam and the burn, it's not going to be enough to take me out, so I've got to go for after the Giga Drain, obviously. So the Giga Drain go down, Milotic is down, and that is the game. So that was actually a 6-0 victory in my favour. I do feel a little bit horrible going for the 6-0 because no one likes to be 6-0. I don't think, Greg didn't play badly at all. I think I may have just prepared very well for his team, and it just put me in a really good position just to clean up throughout, and because it took me quite some time. I don't realize how, if you really put in a lot of work to these battles and prepare before you go into it, it really does give you such a good way of winning in a way. But that was my first MPL battle, and I ended up getting a 6-0, so that was pretty exciting and pretty cool. But thank you guys for watching. As always, if you would like a chance to battle me, you can always hit me up on Twitter. If you need to know any more information about the MPL at all, the links and stuff will be in the description. And you know what? I will catch you guys next time.